Listen, I know it's Halloween, but we're not gonna do any jump scares. I don't know what's happening right now, but there's no jump scares. Nintendo decided to announce a music service this week rather than the Switch 2, because the company is apparently run by the type of neighborhood sociopaths that give out raisins on Halloween. Looking at you, Mrs. Butterman.
It's peanuts.
I would like peanuts. Raisins are fruit. Available for Android and iOS, the Nintendo Music app allows Switch Online subscribers to stream songs from their favorite Nintendo games. Titles like Breath of the Wild, Metroid, and of course,
Doop.
that one.
Yeah.
As evidenced by this ad for the service, Nintendo wants to supply you with hi-fi beats to chill/study to, and they do offer some interesting features to facilitate that. The app lets you extend the runtime of short, goated tracks like KK Cruisin' to as long as 60 minutes. Why have any other music? You can even hide soundtracks to avoid potential game spoilers. They use a tritone interval? Unfortunately, while the app has pre-made playlists for certain vibes or activities, shockingly, there isn't one to put you in the mood for DMCA takedowns.
Oh, weird.
I know what you're thinking, if only there was some way to put this app on the critically lauded Nintendo Alarmo. Well, maybe you can. Gary Oder Nichts, with help from fellow Twitter user Spinda, figured out how to run custom code on Alarmo via USB. I'm gonna be blasting KK Cruisin' while I'm KK snoozing. Let's go.
Nintendo's gonna be mad.
Apex Legends has announced that it will be dropping support for Steam Deck and Linux, just over a month after the same thing happened to GTA Online. Echoing that earlier move from Rockstar, EA has claimed in a blog post that this decision was made to combat cheating in the online FPS.
You're the problem, Linux.
Everyone knows they're all hackers. They have to be to run the OS. It is true that Apex has had serious hacking issues, such as earlier this year when 2 pro players were remotely given cheats during an official tournament. It's also likely that this was a financial decision, as EA has already announced that the game has missed monetization targets. Apparently, the situation is bad enough that the publisher is enacting large systematic change to the game, though we don't know what that means.
It means no cheapskates on Linux allowed.
It means Linux bad. At the very least, it's not an Overwatch 2 style sequel. EA CEO Andrew Wilson actually called that a bad idea that would negatively affect players. Wow. Sounds like EA has grown as a company. Hopefully it's at least a year before I regret saying that. Speaking of regret, Ubisoft. The company is allegedly exploring strategic options after reporting disappointing financial results during the last half year. CEO Yves Guillemot wants to restore the creativity and innovation Ubisoft had during 2010 to 2020. But that might be difficult. For starters, the publisher has laid off over 2,000 potential creators and innovators within the last 2 years. Sure, the company still has more than 18,000 employees across its many studios, but are they allowed to be creative?
Or innovative.
Or innovative?
Why did I say that weird?
Ubisoft as a company is no stranger to allegations of fostering harassment, abuse, bullying. These types of things are the antithesis of creativity, according to the therapist I see due to all the bullying I received.
Your bully was pretty creative.
And we should recognize that.
He invented this swirly.
That toxicity also cost them talent, according to the 1,000 current and former employees that wrote an open letter demanding action from the company back in 2021. The current employees in that group reported issues across 30 Ubisoft studios, and at least one of them, Ubisoft San Francisco, still reportedly maintained a toxic culture as recently as March 2024. They have made some progressive changes. Some of the bullies this time were women. On top of that, are we sure Ubisoft was innovative in the last decade? Does adding mandatory grinding to a full-price single-player game to entice players to buy time-saver microtransactions count as innovation? Arguably. If those were the good old days Ubisoft is yearning for, that would explain their new crypto PvP RPG, where players are selling the playable NFT characters for as much as $63,000.
Are people buying them?
You can tell it's innovative because of all the zeros. Those weren't there before. Hey, here's another new idea. Maybe your personal information shouldn't be bought and sold by data brokers like they're traders hawking beaver pelts on the old frontier. Our sponsor Incogni agrees. So they send requests to remove your personal data from the web, helping to protect you from scams, spam, and even identity theft. Incogni uses a set it and forget it approach. Just tell them what you want removed, and Incogni will start churning out data deletion requests like a data deletion request factory. They comb through their growing list of more than 150 data brokers, giving you regular reports on what information was removed from where. Family plans for up to 5 people are available, and they've even got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So click the link in the description today to get 50% off an annual plan. Sorry, I had to use the bathroom before the quick bits. Did I miss something? We're not doing scary stuff, guys. Valve will now require developers to disclose on Steam store pages whether their game uses kernel-level anti-cheat, which gives a program some control of the deepest layers of Windows. This way, gamers aren't caught off guard when they install a game and hear, I am gonna f up your shit. According to the official blog post, developers have told Valve that they're looking for the right way to share anti-cheat information with players. Because yeah, you can't just walk up to a gamer and blurt out, my game comes with a little friend that squeezes its tentacles through the heart of your PC like a fungus. It's just awkward, trust me. Arkane founder Rafael Colantonio has said that Microsoft closing Arkane Austin was stupid because he thinks it would be impossible to recreate a special group like that again in an interview with PC Gamer. Colantonio actually left Arkane in 2017 to form a new studio because Bethesda wanted to switch their focus to live service games, which is apparently how we got Redfall. Colantonio felt that the Austin studio could have been like From Software or Larian Studios, a developer that kept doing what they do best until they made a massive hit.
It could have been great.
That does sound better than doing something they had no idea how to do and failing spectacularly. Maybe he had a point.
It wasn't great.
Matthew McConaughey continues to deliver space lore on behalf of upcoming game Exodus.
I didn't do it to be cool.
Gamers rise up. It's basically that scene from Interstellar where McConaughey falls into the black hole if you replace the black hole with a vat of LSD. In addition to featuring novel intergalactic species, Exodus will also apparently feature familiar Earth animals that humanity just decided to make smart Rocket Raccoon style. There's awakened ravens, which may or may not be spies influencing humanity's progress. And on top of that, there's awakened bears, which function as soldiers. I just hope I get a planet-wide bear versus bear battle narrated by Matthew McConaughey. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. Images of the PS5 Pro are starting to trickle onto social media from personalities like Jeff Keighley, who apparently cannot take it out of its box, as he has yet to make a brand deal to sponsor his box opening segment.
We all know there's nothing in there!
But once he does open it, he'll discover, like Reddit user Zroro, that existing PS5 Slim plates are not compatible with the PS5 Pro, despite being the exact same size. Sony changed how the plates teeth connect to the console body, presumably so gamers will buy more plates, inflating the amount of money gamers spend on the console, thus causing them to psychologically amplify their own perceived enjoyment while playing it as a coping mechanism. You're welcome.
And spending more money on D-brand. How do they keep winning?
And just in time for Halloween, it was announced that horror game Outlast will be getting a film adaptation. Meanwhile, in an announcement that makes less sense, Apple is adapting famed educational video game The Oregon Trail into an action comedy from the directors that brought you 2007's smash hit, Blades of Glory.
Now with dysentery.
Nobody knows what causes it, but it's provocative. To your bowels. If that wasn't enough, the adaptation will allegedly feature at least 2 original numbers, in the same vein as the Barbie movie. Imagine you barely survived the harsh realities of diseases like dysentery
And cholera.
in the early 19th century, only for your ancestors to sing a hilarious song about pooping yourself to death. Bring the kids. Even worse, imagine you not coming back on Tuesday for more gaming news. Because if you don't, there's gonna be consequences.
Spooky consequences.
Still no jump scares though. I was very serious about that.